He's come running out, the 28th head coach in Nebraska history. But for 40-year-old Bo Pelini, the journey began in Youngstown, Ohio, where Bo was the youngest of 8 children.
I joke a lot, saying I got my butt kicked a lot growing up, and they put my interests before theirs. They made, when I was young, I was playing sports. They had me playing with them, and they'd make sure I was taken care of.
Tony Pelini,
my dad, didn't have a lot of, he's a man of few words, but you knew when he was not happy with you, and he'd let you know it. My mom was probably a little bit more, forgiving at times, and but my mom was a tough lady too.
Give me a typical day in a Pelini household with 8 kids running around.
We were outside playing and running around all the time, and pretty typical, normal middle-class family. My dad would come home, we'd have our dinner. We'd go through our however many gallons of milk a day. It was amazing. He came in and brought milk and bread almost every day, and it was a very active family. Everyone was involved in sports. We were all in the swim teams. We were all in baseball and basketball and football.
Swimming?
Swimming. We all swam from a young age.
What event?
Me, I was butterfly and freestyle. I wasn't big in. I didn't really start playing football till I was 6th grade, and it was a bad experience. And then 7th, it was just that I just didn't like it. I was more into the baseball and basketball.
Cardinal Mooney. If you come from Cardinal Mooney, what's that mean? What kind of kids come from Cardinal Mooney?
Discipline. It's a big family. I mean, I'm good friends with people who graduated 10 years before me, right, and years after me. And it's just like one big, everybody kind of looks out for each other.
It's like Nebraska.
It really is, in a lot of ways.
Football, Ohio State. What's your best memory?
I had a lot of them. One game I'll always remember is the Michigan game my senior year. We lost. It was a great football game. We would have won. We would have went to the Rose Bowl, but it was just one of those games where you walked off the field and you say both teams laid it all out on the line.
And now, 18 years later, Bo Pelini walks the line as the head coach of one of the most storied programs in college football history. He grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, played football at Cardinal Mooney, was a free safety at Ohio State, and led the Buckeyes as co-captain his senior year. But after graduation, Bo Pelini went from Columbus to Iowa City as a graduate assistant on the staff of legendary head coach Hayden Fry.
After I GA'd for a year, I went back full-time and got my master's degree, and I was actually getting out of coaching, and then got an opportunity to with the 49ers in their scouting department, and then they moved me over into coaching pretty quick. Ray Rhodes just got brought back as defensive coordinator, so I was sitting around watching film with him and with the coaching staff, and I started to learn the defense, and they were getting ready to hire an assistant DB coach, and they said, well, are you interested in doing this? And I was in the right place at the right time.
Seifert, then went Pete Carroll with the Patriots, and then Mike Sherman. What'd you learn from all those guys? Do you take something from each one?
I mean, I took not just the head coaches. I worked with a lot of great assistant coaches. That whole 49er experience gave me a tremendous education in coaching. I learned a lot. I mean, in a lot of different ways, X and O's wise. I learned from how the organization was run. I just believe I've learned a lot. And, again, you combine that with the experiences I had as a player and which a tremendous experience I had in high school growing up, and you take all those things and you formulate a plan, and establish principles and how you want to go about things.
Why college football then? You know, you come here 4 years ago. What made you come to college?
You know, it was really a family decision. I mean, it was hard for me to walk away from the NFL because I had 9 years in towards my pension. You know, you get to 15 and you're fully vested. I thought it would be a good thing to go back and look and see if it was, you know, for my wife, my kids, whether it was a good atmosphere, better atmosphere for my kids to be around, where you're more of a, you know, the collegiate atmosphere rather than the pro atmosphere. You're
more
around.
Of a family.
Yeah, exactly. I'd never set foot in the state of Nebraska before until I got here.
I was around a lot of great
I remember the first time I met with Frank. I flew in and I came to look at, I hadn't taken a job yet, and I walked in and there's about 180 guys running around on the field. And that is about so far from the NFL. We were in the cook, and I was like, I didn't even know what to think.
And the rest, as they say, is Husker history. Spring Ball 2003. The Huskers running under the watchful eye of new D coordinator Bo Pelini.
They're feeling us out, and they better get on board real quick, and they better field in the right direction.
And they did. The new and improved black shirts blitzed OK State in the opener. Barrett Ruud and the Big Red went on to score a 9-3 record, but it wasn't enough. Frank Solich was fired.
I refuse to let this program gravitate to mediocrity. We will not surrender the Big 12 Conference to Oklahoma and Texas.
The eyes of old San Antone were on the Huskers in the Alamo Bowl. Corey Ross and the Big Red went in, then back out, and ran by Michigan State 17-3. And the interim head coach took a bath, then handed things over to his team to take the bow. 11 days later, Bill Callahan came walking in as the Huskers' new head coach.
There was a lot of mixed emotions with that whole thing. I mean, ultimately that job, I didn't believe the job should have been open in the first place. It's still hard for me emotionally now. The whole thing that happened to Frank kind of got lost in the shuffle here.
Did you ever think that when you left, you go to OU, you go to LSU, you ever think in the back of your mind you were going to come back?
No. I would have bet my life I was not coming back here. And it's just weird how things happen.
So what convinced you?
I felt real comfortable with Coach Osborne. And my family enjoyed it. We enjoyed it here the first time we were here. I remember getting off the plane and how cold it was. And I wasn't used to that, you know, being in Louisiana the last 3 years. There are a number of things that are associated with this program that the people are very passionate about, and it's important to them. And I think because I'm running the program, they need to be important to me too.
1, 2, 3,
You got to take into account the traditions and what's important to the people, but you can't let it sway you to the point where you get away from what you believe in.
You still got to maintain you. You still got to an extent, be you.
I think that's important.
All right, so how long to a national championship?
You know, I don't.
Because that's what they want to know.
I don't think in that. I mean, I want to win. I want to win them all. I wanted to win them all this year. It's fine to have goals and say we're going to win a national championship next year. Well, you know what? The method to getting there and what you're doing better match up to that. So that's all you can really concern yourself with. Are you doing the things on a day-to-day basis to move the program forward? And I think we're doing that.
The Big Red's done it 7 times so far this year, as Joe Gans and the Huskers just ran away from K-State. And for rookie head coach Bo Pelini, the journey continues. But as we found these last 3 nights, it's already been a long road.